Alright, what we're going to do today is just a quick video on how to update the firmware on your FrSky receivers. So for that you're going to obviously need the receiver. This is an XSR receiver, but this process will also work for the X4R, any of the X range really. X4R or the new XSR-X. You're going to need a FrSky radio, and you're going to need one of these, which is just a cable that I've done up. I'll go through how to make this real quick. This end came off of a camera, so this is just a three pin connection. You can use the cable that came with your XSR, but I'm using mine in a quad. And this end is just a servo connector. So all you do is looking from it, from the, I'm going to call this the top, is your yellow cable, which will be your S port cable. Goes in this end. If I do them up that way, this end on here, and then the ground in the middle, and the voltage on the end there, and then this side it's the smart port one here, voltage in the middle and the ground on that end. So I'll just quickly do a close-up of that so you can see what those look like. Alright, so once you've got that cable done, I'll go through where you actually connect it on the radio. So if you have a QX7 or the QX7S, you will have a little rubber bit at the bottom and one of those at the end. If you can see this, this one here is a smart port connection. So this will connect in with the voltage out on the end. So it will connect in that way around like that, and you just give it a push in like that. If you have an X9, so the original Taranis, or you have a first production run of the X7, which is what I've got, what you will have to use is the port on the...
Welcome to OpenTX.
Oh, I turned it on. The port on the back here. So this will be your module bay port, and you will be connecting this into here. So in this case, I believe the smart port is on the bottom. So it goes in like that. Now I'm going to have to do mine like this because my smart port on the bottom of my radio has no pins. You will probably need to connect yours into the smart port on the bottom. So either way, it's exactly the same process. And what I'll do now is I'll just zoom in a bit so that we can see what's going on. Alright, so this is it zoomed in. So what you need to do is you need to connect your receiver up to your radio. So I've already plugged it into the back of the radio, as you saw. And what we need to do now is connect this in such a way that the ground, the voltage and the smart port connection are on the right pins. Now on the XSR they're actually written down the back, so that makes it really easy. So it's these bottom three pins here. So that's it connected there, and as you can see I can connect that up perfectly fine with the radio on. And there's no problem. So with the other receivers, you can just search for this on Google, just view the pictures. There's plenty of pictures around as to where the voltage and the smart port pins are. 9 times out of 10 they come with a little bit of paper as well that shows you that. But yeah, with the XSR in particular, it's nice and easy because it's written on there. So now what you do is, on your radio, you would just long press the menu button in the middle, and then you page through until you get to your SD card content. So the other thing that I've already done is I've already put the firmware from the FrSky website onto the SD card in here, and I've put it under firmware. So if I go into firmware, we go down to this one. I'm binding the non-EU version. This is 15, 11, 18. This is a slightly older firmware version, and the reason for that is that the newer firmware version doesn't like F4 boards as much as this older version. They fixed some problems with some F3 flight controllers, but seem to cause some problems with some F4s. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this in such a way that you can see the lights. So now I've got it highlighted, what you do is you long press that wheel there, and you've got flash external device, flash internal module, copy, rename and delete. So obviously copy, rename and delete makes sense. Flash internal module flashes the transmitter in the radio, well, if I point here, in the radio. So 99 times out of 100 you don't want to pick that one unless you know that you're flashing the transmitter itself. Then you want this flash external device. Even in the case of, so if we go to a new 900 megahertz module, that's still considered an external device, even though it's sitting in the bay at the back. So we want to go flash external device, just tap that once, and you can see it powers up. It says writing, and then these lights both go solid. In fact, that red one starts flashing. And it will write the firmware. And when it's done, it just dumps you back into the menu. Because it took so long, the little light went off, but there was no pop-up, no nothing. It's powered down the receiver. And that's it. There's no real confirmation of it completing, but that's it completing. Because of that, what I'm going to show you is what happens when it fails to flash. So I will simulate that by just disconnecting the receiver, and I will attempt to flash again. So again, I want to pick flash external, and it sits there, and what you'll notice is you can't do anything with the radio for a bit. Nothing works. Whoops, I'll have to do that again because I pressed the button just as the pop-up came. And what you get is you get this error here. It says firmware update error, no module pin, no response. So that tells me it's trying to flash it through the module at the back for a start, and there was no response. Well, there was no response because there's nothing connected. This is the only error you ever see. So if you see that, it failed to flash, and then you just press exit to clear that. And 9 times out of 10, it's failed to flash either because you have one of the new versions of the QX7 and you've tried to flash it through the module bay on the back, or something's happened with your little cable and you've connected up to the wrong pins. So there's no actual connection, so there's no power getting to this, let's say. And that's it. That's how you flash these things. So I will turn that off because we don't need that anymore. So if you like this video and you found it useful, give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing. If you would like to see any videos of anything in the future, please leave a comment about that. Thanks very much.